Welcome back. Today is part 2 of how to deal with a difficult teen. In our first video, we talked about how to build a relationship and to have more influence with your teen. Today, we're going to talk about how to set boundaries to be more effective in helping your teen. This is the second video of how to deal with a difficult teen. And as we talked in the first video, being a parent can be one of the most rewarding things in life, but it can also be one of the most challenging things that we experience in life. In the first video, we talked about building influence with our children to get them to a place where they respect us and they want to do the things that we ask them to do. Whenever we try to control our children or anyone else, oftentimes what we do is we meet with resistance and we create more of what we don't want instead of what we do want. So if you're interested in building your relationship with your child, look for and view the other video. This one is more about what do we do if our children or our teenagers are making choices that maybe we can't ignore or are difficult to ignore. They're making decisions and choices that are putting themselves at risk and others at risk. And we want them to change. So again, remember, when somebody is trying to get us to change, oftentimes we take that personally. We feel like something is wrong with us, and so we resist that change. So trying to change someone else generally isn't very effective. Think about in your own life, when is it that you make changes? And research has shown that we make changes in our life for two primary reasons. One is because there is something that we want that we don't have, and so it pulls us towards that. We want something different than we have. The other reason for change is because we're in pain. So there's so much discomfort of where we're at that we no longer want to stay there and we want something different. So it's pain or pleasure. It's either to avoid pain or we're seeking pleasure. And everything we do in life, we do for a reason. Again, I believe that reason is that we're striving to achieve a state of happiness. And so if you look at your teenager and the decisions and choices that he or she may be making, and oftentimes we look at that and think, what is wrong with you? Don't you see or understand what you're doing? But if we can try to put ourselves in their situation, there is a reason behind their behavior, and there is something that they're doing, or part of the reason they're doing what they're doing is that they believe that it will benefit them. It's either getting them out of some pain that they're experiencing, giving them that relief from the pain, or it's putting them in a state of acceptance or enjoyment or fun or whatever it is. And maybe it's a temporary state, but it's better than what they were experiencing. So the goal is not to be bad kids. Their goal is that they want to be happy. So our goal as parents is to help teach them what behaviors truly result in happiness. So one of the ways that we can do that is by setting boundaries. So there are things that we can control. So again, the shift is we move from, we're not trying to control our children. What we want to do is we want to love and accept them. Now that's the part of building the relationship. So we see the good in them and who they really are as individuals. And if we can understand that the reason that they're making the decisions and choices that they're making is just because they want to be happy, they just don't understand. So our goal is to help educate them. Now, maybe you're at a place where your teen right now is so defiant and that communication is broken down and they're not willing to listen to you anymore. So that education through words won't work. There's still another way that we can educate and teach, and that's through setting boundaries. So just to make it clear what a boundary is something that I have control over. It's something that I will do or won't do. It's not, I don't set a boundary for somebody else. So, for example, a boundary would not be saying, you will not talk to me that way, or you will not use those words. Anytime we're focused on the other person, saying what they will or won't do, that's not a boundary. That's us trying to control them. And we cannot control anyone but ourselves. So a boundary is focused on what I will do or what I won't do. So think about that as a parent of a teen. What are some areas in which you can set boundaries that have an influence on your teen, that creates a situation where they either want something that they don't have, or there's enough pain or discomfort in the setting or situation in that they then do want something else. So here's a few examples or things to consider. So does your teen have complete control over whether or not they get a driver's license? No. So that's something that you have to sign off on. You have to authorize and okay. And so that's something that you could set a boundary where you could say, as long as you are continuing this behavior, then I will not sign off on you to get a driver's license. It's your choice. I'm not telling you what to do or what not to do. It's just, if you want a driver's license, then this is my expectation for you. My expectation is that, you're home by this time every night. My expectation is, you don't use drugs or alcohol. My expectation is that you keep your room clean. Whatever it is, you can decide whatever your expectations are. Just know that you can't control them. So you can't make them do that or not do it, but you can set a boundary and say, if you do these things, then here's what I will do for you. If they're under the age of 16, or they're older, above the age of 16 and still don't have a driver's license, you have control over whether or not you will give them a ride to wherever they want to go. You have control over whether you would do their laundry or not. You have control over whether you would fix their meals or not. You have control over whether or not they have a cell phone, whether they have access to certain things in the home and privileges that come in the home. But the idea is, and what you need to understand is, when I'm implementing or putting these boundaries in place, I want to do it with love. So I want to express to my child, look, I love you and I want the very best for you. You may even say to them, I know that I can't control you, but if you choose to do these things, these are the consequences. These are the things that I will do. If you choose not to do these things, here's the consequences. If you want my support, if you want a driver's license, if you want these things, then these are the things that I expect you to do. And if you can do that without anger, without emotion other than the emotion of love, you're not then giving your child something to focus on other than themselves. When we as parents get upset at our children and we bring all that negative emotion into it, and sometimes maybe we lose our cool with them, all we've done is given them an excuse now to focus on our behavior rather than to focus on theirs. So if they don't get some of the things that they want because they didn't stay within the boundary that we set, we can honestly and truly say to them, I'm sorry, that happened, but, I respect your ability to choose, whatever it is that you want to choose. Now, let's say that your child, though, is doing something that is against the law or is really putting them at danger. Then, again, you can set a boundary and you can say, if you're involved in anything that is illegal, if you bring anything illegal into my home, then just know I will notify law enforcement. And so, again, you're setting a boundary. You're not telling them what to do or what not to do. You can continue to love them. You're just telling them what you will do. If they get angry and upset at you, then your goal is to remain calm in that situation, to recognize you're not causing the anger in them. They're using that anger for a purpose, which is that they've been conditioned that anger maybe helps them get what they want. And so maybe they've learned in their relationship with you, if they get angry, then you give in and you give them what you want. So your job is to be aware or to realize that I'm not making them angry. That's their choice. All I need to do is keep my word, hold to my boundary, and allow my child to make whatever choices they make. And as they experience the consequences of their choices, as long as we don't give them other reason to take the focus off of themselves, they'll begin to look at the choices that they're making and begin, hopefully, to ask the question of, why do I continue to choose this when it's giving me an outcome in life that I don't want? The other thing that you may need to do if you have a teen that is out of control and putting themselves at risk, a choice that you could make is, you're no longer safe in our home, you're no longer safe in the community, so I may need to send you to some type of a residential program where there's more structure in place, and there's structure 24/7 where your son or daughter can be kept safe and in an environment where they can learn the skills and the abilities that they need to self-govern and be able to return safely and successfully back to the home and back to the community. So again, setting boundaries is focusing on what you control, not on controlling anybody else, and just getting real clear on what are the expectations that you have, what do you have control over, what do you not have control over. Focus on the things that you can control, create those boundaries that will keep you safe, keep your family safe, and allow your child to experience the consequences of the choices that they make. Hopefully you found this information useful to you in helping you with a teenager in your life. Go ahead and subscribe to our channel and come and visit us again tomorrow.